And it's back. I said it's back. Ryan Garcia says the fight with Roelly is back on track. And he fighting Roelly next. I guess I gotta talk about it again. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. As you guys can see, I am on Ryan Garcia's page. You see the verified check mark. Ryan Garcia just broke some news. He says it's on and cracking. DAZN Boxing pay-per-view. I'm gonna read it to you. 420 live on DAZN Boxing, pay-per-view tickets and location soon. It's time to enter battle once again. I understand that there has been a lot of confusion, but this fight is happening. I'm happy to announce this. Everyone is going to post this soon. Don't worry. I love you guys. Comment what you think. Hashtag Garcia versus Romero. And he posted this flyer on his page. So Ryan Garcia is telling you his next fight is going to be Roelly. Wow. Now, I agree with what he just put. There certainly has been some confusion. Ryan Garcia, part of it is Ryan Garcia. And that's just me being honest with you. Because Ryan Garcia, initially, I give him credit because if you pay attention to what he said after his fight with Oscar Duarte, he did say he wanted to fight Roelly, who is a champion. And I had no problem with that. Things got a bit twisted and a bit tricky when Ryan Garcia then took to his social media and he posted a poll and he started asking the fans, who do you want to see me fight? And he listed two names, one being Roelly Romero, but the other name was Devin Haney. And by doing this, it created some calamity and it created some confusion. If he would have just stuck to what he initially said, he would have been better off. For example, after he beat Oscar Duarte, right? He said post-fight, Roelly, where you at? I'm looking for you, dog. And he said in his post-fight with the DAZN reporter, Ryan Garcia literally said that he's working with Derek James. Things are going well for the two. And he said they're just getting a feel for each other, pause, but they're getting a feel for each other's style and they're getting their chemistry together. And then he'll eventually, or, in the future, he'll be ready to fight Devin Haney, but he wants to get some more fights on 140 under his belt. I ain't had no problem with that. I told you that makes a lot of sense. Ryan Garcia, he made some concessions versus Gervonta Davis, and we know how that fight played out. Gervonta dropped him in the second round. He would keep in mind he was doing good in round 2. He really was. But doesn't matter. Shoulda, coulda, woulda in the world of boxing. Doesn't matter how good you're doing if in the end I've seen this time and time again where a fighter will have a beautiful chef's kiss, beautiful round that they're having, and then that goes all to ish when they get dropped or knocked out. So none of that. I hate when people in boxing always talk about, oh man, he was winning the fight. They for example, Danny Garcia versus Amir Khan. Oh my gosh. That is like one of the prime fights that I remember being a big fight. It was on HBO at the time, and people kept saying that. And I got so tired of hearing that. They were like, oh, but Amir Khan was winning before Danny knocked him out. And then I was actually one of the only people at the time picking Danny Garcia. So mind you, I was, very happy when Danny won, but I keep it real. If he would have lost, I would have said that. But there were a lot of people making excuses. Amir Khan tried to jump in like, ish, 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 do that ish, ish. And then Danny met him with the hook, timed him, boom. But people kept saying, oh, but Amir was winning. He was outboxing him. That's neither here nor there. So Ryan doing good versus Tank in round 2. was completely overshadowed. And you have, like, some people scored around 10-10, which was stupid. And that goes to show you that it's cap. And this is what I believe Calvin Ford had issue with when I made it. Listen, you guys, I'll try to put a card at the end of this video. I'm truly the best in boxing history when it comes to breaking down the fights. My memory's impeccable. The knowledge is there. The entertainment factor. I'm giving you everything you want. But I did a video about it. Calvin Ford made some statements. He said that why would they want to fight Shakur Stevenson after his last performance? A lot of people, old media, and a lot of people, what they did is try to take that, spin it, and run with it to make it look like Tank Davis was ducking smoke with Shakur Stevenson, or he's afraid or petrified, or, oh no, you know, this is a bad thing, terrible news, and all these sensationalized thought patterns and narratives. But he's just saying Shakur's off a bad performance, point blank, period. I don't have no problem with that statement because it's true. You know, Shakur, if he wanted, like literally, if he wanted to land the Gervonta Davis fight and that was your audition tape with Edwin De Los Santos, and I'm not saying Shakur's not a good fighter, and I'm not saying he doesn't have a better effort, but if we're judging off what you just showed us, that audition tape doesn't land you the role. And that's basically what Calvin Ford was saying. But I don't want to get too, make sure you guys check out that video because I'm putting out nothing but heat all 2024. But back to Ryan Garcia. He lost to Gervonta Davis. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. He was doing good. I don't understand anyone that scored Ryan Garcia, gave him round 2, but he got dropped. I mean, come on, what are we talking about? Unless it was something crazier would have had, like he was doing well for himself, but he wasn't doing that well to the point where he could have got dropped and still won the round. Put it that way. You know what I mean? So nonetheless, I understood Ryan Garcia going after a fighter like Roelly. They have bad blood. They could settle it. Roelly, there's an asterisk by his last win, if I'm being honest. Roelly fought against that old dude, Ishmael Barroso, and Roelly, he got dropped. He got dropped by him. And a lot of people thought Tony Weeks had a premature stoppage, things of that nature. So at the end of the day, some people didn't even like how that fight played out, and that's the fight that crowned Roelly champion. So this is a good fight because it's a legit fight with Ryan Garcia, a legit fighter, you know, versus another legit fighter with power, Roelly, who he controversially got the belt off of Barroso. So them fighting each other, which is a good fight, they can kind of, I would give the winner credit, put it that way. Your boy Ego, personally, I would give the winner credit. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I would give the winner credit, whoever wins the fight, and then that'll be a certified win. So if Roelly beat Ryan, then now the Barroso controversy is, you know, a thing of the past, all but forgiven, right? Ryan, if he becomes a champion, he'll be a champion for the first time if he beats Roelly. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a great fight. Ryan says 420, live on DAZN, pay-per-view tickets, location soon, time to enter battle. So it's basically what he said on his Twitter. But he did post this flyer, and he took to his stories, I believe. It says, comment what you think. Look, comment what you think. And then he reposted what he put on Twitter. Don't miss anything leading up to this fight. Turn on post notification if you don't want to miss. What did that say? It says if you don't want to miss any updates, tickets, and location soon. So he's going, listen, Ryan Garcia he better have this fight. I'm going to say like he gots to have the fight. In the words of B2K, gotta be. It's not my way to talk to stranger, but I feel like gotta be your everything. Bro, he gotta have this fight. The reason I'm saying that is because people are growing tired of all these fights online. Okay, go off then, Ryan. All these fights with these flyers and all this goofy stuff that social media has created with this younger generation, and then the fight falls apart. People, nah, we ain't with that. You know, people who are hyped up. Me, I didn't get hyped up for Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. I can assure you, because I knew that fight wasn't going to happen, and I said that on my channel, right? But then Roelly came out and said Ryan and De La Hoya some BZs or whatever he said. I made a video about it, and he came out and said that the fight is no more, and they're lying and saying I priced himself out. So I was like, oh man, it's one of those, and the fight's gonna fall apart. Now, the funny thing is, if Ryan is telling the truth here and the fight is done or almost done, and there was a boxing reporter earlier in the day who came out and their sources kind of confirmed this information that they were close. He didn't say the fight was done. It was Dan Raphael. He didn't say the fight was actually done in his report early, his tweet. He just said it was still being looked at and they're still trying to finalize it. But the funny thing is, on my channel, I strive for accurate, reliable information that you could take to the bank. I told you I had no problem with this path of Ryan fighting another champion. And a lot of the Devin Haney fanatical fans, they were like, no, Ryan, he ducked Devin Haney. And they were really low-key kind of happy that Roelly came out and said De La Hoya and Ryan, they don't really want the fight. And basically, they were happy that the fight fell apart. I seen it with my own two eyes. I seen it. They were happy that the fight fell apart. What boxing fan is happy when fights don't fall apart? Like, real life saboteurs. That was weird. And listen, I love Devin Haney. I love what he's doing. I love the journey. But you're going out of your way to rejoice when a fight falls apart and you're supposed to be a boxing fan. Like, you doing this Devin Haney brigade and you hoping and praying that other fights fall apart because Devin didn't get the look. I mean, to me, that's corny. That's corny. You know what I mean? If Ryan and Devin could have made it happen, I would have supported that fight. I'll pay for the fight. This with Roelly and Ryan, it's a title fight. I'll pay for the fight. I'm not mad at either way, you know? And again, for me, I didn't really think that the fight with Devin would be next, despite what they were saying, oh, we're in negotiations and all that type of stuff. I really didn't. But for people to go out of their way, and I seen it in the comment section, and they were happy, like, aha, like basically Devin Haney and Ryan, at a point, it looked like they were going to fight and they were negotiating. So when Roelly and Ryan, it looked like the fight was off track because Roelly, I made a video about it, but Roelly did come out and basically say that, you know, the fight, he's going to try to fight Pitbull Cruz because Oscar and Ryan don't really want it. And then Oscar was like, he priced himself out. So for all intents and purposes, it looked like the fight was not going to happen. And I did see some of the radical Devin Haney fans, they were happy that Ryan, you know, wasted Roelly's time too, because misery loves company. So now it's kind of funny if what Ryan is now saying is true, which, you know, Ryan has this stigma of being the boy who cried wolf in boxing. So I guess we have to wait and see. But I will say he's doing an awful lot. If it's not like he's talking about ticket sales will be on sale and follow this space and the location coming soon. You know what I mean? So it does look like there's a strong chance that the Roelly fight is back on track. It could happen. So it's just funny to me because the radical Devin Haney fans, they were actually happy that Roelly didn't get the Ryan fight. And then in the end, it looks like they're going to fight on DAZN. And again, I'm going to support it. So back to what listen, I'm a man of my word, 10 toes down, stand on business, Bay Area. I told you what it is. I had no problem with this fight. Now, when Roelly came out and he said, oh, the fight's falling apart and I'm going to go after Pitbull, I was like, what is Ryan doing? Because that's a lot. I just feel like it's bad to keep, you know, aggregating these fights and keep adding them to the list and saying you're going to fight this guy and saying you're going to fight this guy and putting up polls and putting up posts. And then you don't end up fighting any of the people. That's not a good look for your brand as a fighter. I'm sorry. In 2024, people ain't trying to hear that. So, I did say, man, I supported the Ryan Roelly fight, but from what Roelly was saying at that time, he was saying it was off track and it wasn't going to happen. So I was like, man, I'm getting tired of this. But I'm glad to see that it looks like it's back on track and going to happen. And now it's back to what I said. I have no problem with the fight. I'm not mad that, some people are like, oh, Ryan ducked because he didn't fight Devin Haney. He doesn't have to fight Devin Haney when you want him to fight Devin Haney. Roelly has a belt. Roelly is a great salesman, like in terms of like the build-up's going to be crazy for the fight. It's just what it is. And I would really venture out and say Roelly, charisma-wise, and I'm not talking about skill or who's a better boxer, who has a better jab, but in terms of pure, unadulterated like comedy and selling yourself ability and charisma and the panache, Roelly has an advantage over Devin Haney in that department, which is good for a fight like this because Ryan has a good big profile. People know Roelly. Like whether you like him or not, people know Roelly. I see him on Instagram and when he's live and people be in the comment section, whether they're laughing at him or laughing with him, whatever, they know who he is. And again, he has ability. It's going to be a good buildup. So all the people that was happy that the fight looked like it was off track and fell apart, hopefully they don't talk about this fight, because why would you talk about it? Why would you make YouTube videos? Why would you make Facebook posts and Instagram posts if you were a saboteur and you were happy that the fight fell apart? I mean, we got to stop some of the corniness in boxing. It's really getting corny. Like me, I don't rejoice when a fight falls apart. Like, Deontay Wilder's not fighting AJ because Wilder lost. Like, some of y'all play these little kid games. This hurts our sport. Every time we look like buffoons. Each and every time there's a fight and it's months of back and forth and Twitter, people get vested and join the conversation, and then the fight doesn't happen, we look dumb as a sport. So I never advocate for that. I want the biggest fights. I want great fights. It got to make sense. It got to make sense. But at the end of the day, if it makes sense and it makes dollars, let's get it. But I don't like when all these fights fall apart. So the people who are, fingers crossed and got voodoo dolls, hoping Roelly didn't get the Ryan fight because Devin didn't get it. Like, to me, all that stuff, that type of stuff is corny. I am curious to see who Devin will fight if Ryan and Roelly fight each other. It's a great fight. It's a great fight. And I told you, Ryan is smart. If he is fighting Roelly, which he's advertising for it, right? Then he has a chance at a belt, which in turn would help his leverage when he does fight Devin Haney, in the future. Because you see the belt behind Roelly in this picture. Roelly fought my man Barroso, and he won that belt. So it's a smart move to go after another champion that you'll have a good pay. Like, you don't understand the plan. Ryan and Roelly is a good, fun fight with a fun buildup, just like Tank and Roelly. Both guys have a backstory because they both fought Tank and they both lost to Tank. So I think this will do about as good as you can expect for a pay-per-view, with a guy not named, with Ryan not fighting a Tank or something like that. You know what I mean? So this is a smart play. Roelly, should he beat Ryan and go back to Amazon and PBC, he's the man. And then people are going to forget about Roelly versus Barroso if he knocks out, because I really think this fight ends in a knockout. You know what I mean? Should Ryan Garcia win, that'll be 2 knockouts in a row, because again, whoever wins, they win by knockout, in my opinion. I think Ryan or Roelly, I don't see this fight going 12 rounds either way. You know what I mean? I don't see it going 12 rounds. So this is just a nice, fun fight for boxing fans, and the winner will have some leverage because I think it could do very good, strong numbers on pay-per-view because of the buildup and the fact that the styles make fights and two fighters that are going to come give it their all and willing to get knocked out and have the power to knock the other person out. It's not going to be like, oh, they're just boxing, you know what I mean? Clever boxing for 12 rounds. There's going to be if this happens, somebody getting knocked out or dropped, there's going to be some violence in it, especially since they had the whole sparring thing. But listen, I'll wait for it to be official. I wanted to give you guys the official unpacked treatment and break the news to you first. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you dig the long form videos like this that are a bit longer. I try to mix it up, give y'all everything y'all want. So if you like the long form videos like this, type the word long form, those two words. It helps me as a content creator, so I know what you guys are looking for. 2024, let's make it a great year. Again, Ryan versus Roelly. He's saying that it's done. I showed you that he's saying these things. I hope Ryan is not wrong. You know, I really do, because this is a lot. You guys both posted flyers and stuff. And the last thing I will say, I got to give Ryan a lot of credit, because I told you I didn't really worry about Roelly not wanting to fight. I didn't worry about Ryan not wanting to fight. My question was Golden Boy. Did they truly want this fight? That's what I said to you guys. And I got to give credit to Ryan, because if this fight is happening next, he's really pushing. He's really pushing for the fights he wants. He pushed for the Gervonta Davis fight, even though he came up short. He truly pushed for it. And I don't think Golden Boy wanted that fight for him at that moment. I don't think they wanted him to fight Tank. But he stuck to his guns and told him he's like, I'm a star. You give me what I want. And it looked like Oscar De La Hoya was trying to find a way out of the Roelly fight. That's what it looked like to me. You know what I mean? Oh, Roelly wants too much money, and finding a reason for the fight not to happen. And Ryan, like I said, if this fight is happening, Ryan is sticking to his guns and making sure. I know there's problems between Ryan and problems between him and Oscar De La Hoya, and that's a bad look. But you got to give props to Ryan. It looks like he's making good on his promises if we get a big fight from him, his first fight in 2024. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We unpacked. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming